So, you want to make a movie. This is a series that I have wanted to start on this channel since the day I decided to start doing YouTube again after about 3 years not posting anything. I wanted to, when I made my return, not only talk about movies and the latest news in the industry, but I wanted to also share my experience and my journey as an aspiring filmmaker. And so, if this is your first video here on this channel, first off, I do want to say welcome. My name is Logan, and on this channel, I talk about movies, trailers, news, the occasional review, the occasional TV review, various things like that. This is a positive space where we talk about films in a positive way. I'm not getting on here and talking about my least favorite movies from last year. I just don't think that that is something that is super productive, and just not something that I find enjoyment in doing, if I'm being honest. So we talk positively about film here, and while starting with this video, really, we are going to talk about filmmaking. Now, I don't know how often these videos are going to be, but the goal is to kind of take you step by step with an idea for a film that I have that I recently came up with. I'm not going to talk too in depth about my idea, just because I'm keeping it close to the chest for now, and I I don't want anybody running away with my idea. So I'm not going to be talking specifically about my idea, but what I am going to be talking about, I feel like will obviously relate to whatever project it is that you want to make, whether it is a short or a feature. Now, a couple other things here, again, if this is your first time. If you've been around here a while, you already know. I'm approaching this from a bit of a different vantage point. I am partially blind, as you can definitely tell by this video so far, and I have a full-time job. So what I talk about as far as spending my time working on films is with the reference point of having a job that I go to 5 days a week for most of the day. And most of the work that I do on this channel is in the evening. I've been up pretty late at night a couple times working on stuff for this channel because that is my free time. That is the time that I have. And really, work is my only serious obligation in life. Where I'm at right now, at about 25 and a half years old, work is the thing that I have to go to. Everything else is, I'm fortunate enough to be kind of a luxury in a way. I get to go to movies and talk about them with you guys here on this channel. I get to watch TV shows and talk about those. So everything else is spending my time doing things that I want to do. It's just, work takes up a pretty big majority of my time. But something, and this is going to kind of segue us into what I want to talk about here today, which is really just kind of an introduction to what I want to do with this series here. I want to talk about how you can use your time to focus on those things that it is that you want to do. And this doesn't have to be filmmaking necessarily or screenwriting, whatever that goal is that you have. It's using the time that you have to spend the time to work on these things. And so, like I said, for me, it is really in the evenings. There have been a couple times where I've had to wake up earlier than I normally would for work to come down to my office and get some work done for a video that I want to post on the channel. Most recently, it was my review for Thunderbolts. I wanted to get that movie up when the embargo broke because as somebody who isn't always guaranteed to see a movie before it comes out, when I do get to see one, and it's one that I want to talk about, I do try and get that video up for when that embargo breaks so that people looking for those reviews can find mine, as opposed to mine coming out like the night of release or that Friday of the actual release. So I really do try and force myself to find the time to work on this channel, but also working on this new idea that I have. And so I wanted to get into the basics of just forming an idea for a movie and kind of what I do. And everything I talk about in this series, what works for me might not work for you. And some pieces of advice that I give are coming from a background really of just watching hours of YouTube videos and watching so many movies and reading books and just researching like on Google questions that I have. So that's really the approach that I'm taking with this. And so again, whatever works for me in the advice that I give in the videos might not work for you, and that's fine. And if you do have something that you that works well for you, share it in the comments, because maybe you can help somebody else out with that tip there. So this is really just an introduction video to this series. It's not going to be exactly consistent because something that I learned very quickly with my first feature film is that sometimes you could have a week where you are just cranking things out left and right, and then you have maybe a week where it's just not clicking for you. You're getting ideas for scenes and you put them pen to paper and it just doesn't quite work, and so you take a couple days off. So there's no set schedule with this series because that's just the reality of making a movie. But the goal here is to take you from idea to finished project with this film. I expect this to take a couple years, so hang in there. I hope that you can take something away from each of these videos and realize that you don't need $1 million to make a movie. What you really need is an idea, and these days, this thing right here, and maybe a mic. You can use a mic, but honestly, the mic on an iPhone is pretty good too. I have a short film that I want to shoot here in the next couple of months that I'm thinking about shooting with my iPhone, just the iPhone. So that's all you need. I don't want you to think that you need so much equipment. And maybe in one video, I will go through the equipment that I use just to kind of give you an idea for entry-level equipment. Because I'm by no means using the best of the best. I use what I can afford and make the most of it. In fact, the camera that I shoot these videos on is also the camera that I shoot my movies on. Obviously, I change up the settings a little bit, but it's the same exact camera, same lens, and I use what I have. And, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So if money and that idea that you need so much of it is holding you back, then you can go ahead and let that go. And I hope that I can show you that in this series. So bear with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that a lot of these videos can just kind of be what we did here and just talk. I don't want to overly edit these videos. Obviously, with certain things, I probably will. I'll throw in photos, examples of different things. But this first one, I just wanted to say hello, welcome, and I can't wait to make a movie with you. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more film content from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.